Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dan on Sports. Should the New York Giants fire Brian Daboll? We're seeing a lot about this now because the Giants are into a bye week after he had another debacle, this time in Munich, Germany, when they ended up losing in overtime to the woeful Carolina Panthers. So now, of course, we're hearing the stories, should the Giants fire Brian Daboll? In fact, I came out, I think it was a few episodes ago, and said the Giants should clean house. But you know what? They really can't clean house. They can't. And they can't for the biggest reason when it comes to football and head coaches. You cannot keep changing head coaches, and that's what the New York Giants have done, really, since Tom Coughlin left the team following the 2015 season. I mean, take a look at the coaches they've had since. Ben McAdoo, Steve Spagnuolo, Pat Shurmur, then Joe Judge, and now Brian Daboll. I mean, that's 5 coaches in 8 years. You can't keep changing coaches and general managers if you're going to build a football program. So in a sense, even though the Giants have played horribly this year and have been terribly coached, Brian Daboll is insulated from being fired. I mean, yeah, of course, they could do it again. The co-owners of the Giants, Mara and Tish, could get together and say, we've got to make another change. But if you're going to fire the coach, you've got to fire the general manager too, because you brought Joe Schoen in, you brought Brian Daboll in. They're joined at the hip from being with Buffalo. So the Giants are in a situation where they're almost hamstrung by their inability to build a solid football organization. And Brian Daboll is saved because you can't keep changing head coaches. I mean, you want to have some kind of stability within the organization, and changing head coaches every year does not bring you that stability. And so Daboll's going to catch a break. Now, keep this in mind. Daboll met the press on Monday. Now, this is one day after that debacle in Munich, still the head coach. If you're going to make a coaching change, obviously you would do it entering a bye week to give the new head coach almost 2 weeks to get everything together. So the fact that Daboll still has a job, the Giants are not going to fire him, and Daboll was very confident when talking about the quarterback situation. He was asked whether Daniel Jones would be back as quarterback for the Giants next game after the bye week, and he would not commit to Jones being the quarterback. Now, keep this in mind. It's really the first time that Daboll has not committed to Jones being the quarterback. Prior to this, every time he was asked about Jones following another mediocre performance by Jones at best, he would say he's going to be starting. Daniel's going to be starting the next game. He wouldn't commit this time to Jones being the starting quarterback, which tells you that Jones's days as a Giants quarterback are numbered. Yes, Jones obviously is going to be with the team for the rest of the season. The trade deadline has passed. But moving forward, the Giants are going to be faced with a situation where they need a new quarterback. And it's going to be a new quarterback selected by Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll because they're going to be around. The question becomes, because once again, the Giants are going to get a great draft pick, do they hope to get a quarterback from the draft, or do they hope to go out, maybe even trade that draft pick to get an experienced quarterback? That's a big question, because if you draft a quarterback, then you're in a situation where you have to continue to rebuild. So now it's what? A year 4 of the Daboll-Schoen regime, and still no big turnaround because you've got a new quarterback learning the position, a quarterback just out of college, no matter how great that quarterback might have been in college. So you've got that to deal with. So now you're into perhaps year 5, year 6 of the regime. That's why I think the Giants are going to go for an experienced quarterback and would not be averse to trading that high draft choice. That's my sense. So where do we stand as far as Daboll is concerned? Where do we stand as far as Joe Schoen is concerned, even though I thought that they should clean house? And Pat Leonard, who writes for the New York Daily News and has followed the Giants for years and said that they should clean house. I don't see it happening because you can't keep cleaning house every 2 years. That's where Daboll and Schoen catch a break, because it takes a while to build a solid NFL organization, a consistent NFL organization. And you're not going to do it by changing coaches every 2 or 3 years. So Daboll gets a break. He gets a break because of the Giants always cleaning house. I believe he'll be back. Schoen will be back. And I also think because they've got to turn this thing around in year 4 of their administration, I also think the Giants will trade that high draft pick, which they're going to get from this upcoming draft due to their poor record. They're going to package that draft pick to get a high-profile, experienced NFL quarterback. We shall see. As always, thanks for watching Dan on Sports. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. It helps on YouTube.